Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers. It's Thursday. It's really early. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I put a tweet out to say, what should I do a video on today? And Andy Miles, who was on the show yesterday, suggested that I discuss players that are available on a free transfer that are out of contract currently, considering we don't look like we're going to spend any money at the moment. I'm not saying any of these players are going to sign. I'm not in the know by any accounts, but it's good to have a look at it and see what players would realistically, could suit West Ham, what players we should be able to look at on that list. So let's have a little start. If there's anything else you want to discuss as we go along, guys, I don't mind. But let's have a little look, shall we? So this website's called transfermarket.com. And right at the top of the list there, you can see one man that I think would do every club a job, Mr. Lionel Messi. Good morning to you, Gary. I'm doing well. So Lionel Messi is obviously on there. But obviously we know he's going to be signing a new contract with Barcelona. But he wouldn't be a bad one, would he? Actually, I'm going to kick myself there. Next on the list is a centre-back called Nikolai Makisimovic, market value of 9 million. 29 a centre-back. We need a centre-back. Croatian centre-backs are usually generally very good. So why not? If West Ham don't want to spend any money and if he's a decent centre back, why not go for him? And all of these, they've been out of contract for a few weeks now. Jerome Boateng, legend of a centre back, 32 now. Probably got bigger fish to fry than West Ham. Even at 32, he'll do a fantastic job somewhere. Probably on incredibly high wages as well. He's been at some of the biggest clubs in the world, Jerome Boateng. So not a player that realistically West Ham can sign. A left winger called Sebastian Giroussi. I can't say I've heard much about him. Market value of 6.75 million. Left wing's not really a position we need, to be honest with you. Alex Teixeira, an attacking midfielder. Obviously, we're linked with Pereira, so I doubt that one will happen. We'll skip a few. So Diego Costa, centre forward, 32 now. Been out of contract since January. Market value of 5 million. Listen, if they're not going to go and get a Tammy Abrahams or Danny Ings or someone like that, and they're looking for someone who, will be, is a natural goal scorer, maybe, listen, we're not going to get the Diego Costa that was at Chelsea, but I wouldn't be against him being the backup striker at all. Whether he would like that or not, I don't know. Again, another one who would be on exceptionally high wages, but a fantastic player, Diego Costa. There's no denying, the guy's ability. He's a fantastic ability. It's a worrying thing that nothing has happened in this transfer market. It's true, mate. Nicholas Nkoulou, 31-year-old centre-back, was a huge name back in the day. Fantastic, highly regarded centre-back. He's better than Phil Bardsley. Let's just say that if we were to go and get someone like Phil Bardsley. He's a good player. I think he was at Spurs, wasn't he, for a little while as well, that Nkoulou. But, not something we need. I'm going to skip through. David Luiz, please, God, no. Gaston Ramirez, who remembers him? A legend. Nathaniel Klein, 30 now, not a young player anymore. A few years ago, would have been all over it, not now. Sensational player in his day, Hatem Ben Arfa. 34 now, would you believe? Not a player, that we would look at now, but a few years ago, again, what a player. France legend, Frank Ribery, 38 now, still looking for a club. I doubt it, that. He'd probably go to America or something like that. Robbie Brady used to be a decent little player. Not anymore. James McCarthy, the man who broke Dimitri Payet's ankle. Jack Wilshere, the man who was too good for West Ham, struggling to find a club now. If this man was a little bit younger, 34 now, sadly, Salvatore Sirigu, fantastic goalie. I believe it was the sub goalie at the Euros for Italy as well. Definitely someone a few years ago. Just skipping through here. Mangala, 30 years old now, a bit injury prone. Mustafi, no thank you. There's a few legends on here, I'll tell you. West Ham, ex-West Ham, Mohamed Diarmi, 34 now. That's crazy, isn't it? How quickly, time goes. Good player when he was with us, though. Should we go a few more pages, have a little look? Obviously, the prices are going down now and the ages are going up. But just have a look if anyone would suit us. Daniel Sturridge, 31 now. A few years ago, that was West Ham signing all over it. Not so much now. Who else we got here? Really, anyone else of any excitement? Neil Taylor, 32 now. Debussy, 36. Crazy. Scott Dan, 34. Ramirez, ex-Chelsea, 34 now. Andy Carroll, 32. Got West Ham written all over it, that one. Rob Morales, ex-Everton and West used to play under David Moyes, 33 years now. Madness. A few more, guys. We'll do a few more. Who else we got here? Wilfred Bonney, the man who turned West Ham down so many times. Yannick Balassi, 32 years now. I thought he was only 28. Very good player back in the day, though. Very skillful. Just didn't hit the highs that he maybe should have. Gary Cahill, 35 now. There's a lot of players that are really, they're the wrong age now. Cellini's out of contract, but I can't see him leaving Juventus. Off the back of a great Euros where he was, arguably the centre back of the tournament. He's still got a lot to offer, Cellini. Even at 36, he's that good a player. Yaya Sanogo, Gaston Silva. These names now slowly. Lamin Coney, George Boyd, Solomon Kalou, 35 now. Solomon Kalou, crazy. Any comments coming in? Well, I'll go back in the comments 2 seconds, guys. Just bear with me. Just have a look if there's any more. Not really. We're starting to get down to the really low prices now. But as you can see, guys, even the free transfer market is not the most exciting one to look at for, but unless you've got to go and get Lionel Messi or someone like that, do you know what I mean? There's not much there. Like I say, I would potentially go for Diego Costa if nothing was going to happen at all in terms of signing a striker, just to have a body there and someone who we know scores goals. But again, you're asking for mega wages, right? Let's go into the comments here. There's a few people that are on here. Afternoon, mate. Cool. Oh, yes, you're in Thailand, didn't you? I did forget you are in Thailand. Hi, Luke. Great video idea. Thanks for coming on yesterday. That was a pleasure, mate. It's good to see you getting good views as well. See, it's nearly, was it about 1.9 now? And it's will probably hit about 2K for you, mate, which is brilliant. When you start hitting those good numbers like that, it's great stuff. All these different stories I'm hearing. Sam Johnson and Pereira are close to signing. Don't know what I believe. I don't know either, mate. I'll be honest with you. It's just until I see them with one of those free shirts that we've released on the website with the contract, I can't believe anything at the moment. All this talk of the takeover is it's doing something, isn't it? Whether David Gold and David Sullivan are using it to deflect, so they don't have to sign players, and they can say, well, this was going on, so this distracted us. There was another comment on my Twitter this morning saying, do you think that someone's had a word in Rice's ear saying that, look, the takeover will go through soon, hang about, we'll back you, we'll build a team around you. Who knows? Listen, if you're a new board and he's going to come in, the first priority is to keep Declan Rice. That is the whole. If your first move as a new board to come in is to sell Declan Rice, then it's not going to go down well, is it? Straight away, you're on you're negative. So I can't imagine a new board would want to do that. Irish Tommy, legend. Only a couple of weeks to the new season, and we still haven't signed a single first-team player. I'm not one for panicking about these things, but it's getting late in the day. It is, mate. Even the most optimistic and constantly positive, forward-thinking fan, even they must now be thinking this is a bit bad now. This is not good. as we've discussed many a times on Jake's show yesterday as well, the first 11's fantastic. A fantastic first 11 we've got. But beyond that, there's nothing. It's so dire now. One rumour I did like, though, that came out today is it looked like Lanzini, he's going to stay. I'm happy with that. I think he's starting to show what he's about again, and he really was starting to show that a little bit towards the end. Shame he picked up that injury. I think that deep line playmaker role could be a role for him going forward. So good on the ball, and he don't mind a tackle either. So yeah, it is worrying, mate. It is very, very worrying. Let's sign anyone. Yeah, I'm free. I'll play for $5,000 a week if they'll pay me that sort of dollar. But yeah, we need to. It's just to give us a lift. Just a lift. If two players come in, I know we need 5 or 6, but if two come in and there's 2 fresh faces to potentially see in that Atlanta game, or, if Pereira comes in, for example, within the next week and a half, and, we see him come off the bench against Newcastle, it's just a lift. It's just a lift that we need, just a player to excite us again. We need him. We need players. We need players massively. Look, in a month's time, the Europa League draw happens. I believe it's the 25th of August, so not long at all. And, we just need to be able to have a squad that has got some depth in it. Apologies. Yeah, I agree, Tom. It's beginning to worry. Yeah, it was. I agree. Tommy says, is Sullivan holding back spending money on transfers because they expect to sell the club? So, makes sense, mate. Makes sense. Why would you want to invest in a club that you're going to sell? The only reason Mike Ashley spent 30 million last year, because that 30 million was a deposit. It was a deposit, give it to him from the Saudis to take over. Obviously, that deal fell through, but he kept the 30 odd million or 30, 40 million, whatever it was. And obviously, that went and bought Callum Wilson. And I can't remember who else they bought. They bought someone else, didn't they, with that money? They bought the left back, didn't they? Lewis. So, yeah, maybe they're thinking, oh, why spend the money? What incentive is it for them to go and spend big money when they just want to take out as much as they want from the club now? There's a lot more to come of this, I believe. I don't know what you guys think in the chat. Jake asked me yesterday, and it'd be interesting to know what you guys think as well. How close do you think this is? Do you think this is something that will happen in 6 to 8 weeks' time? Or are we looking at next summer for this to happen? Or January, for example, like if it happened at Christmas and then the new ball could go and do something maybe in January? I think more next summer, if I'm honest with you. I think this is going to rumble on for a bit longer. And we're just going to have to hope that, the team's good enough to stay up, which I think it is, barring an absolute massacre of injuries. I think Moyes is good enough to keep us up and just sort of gritting through and surviving. If we don't buy no players, this could all change in a week and a half's time. We go and sign 3-4 players, and all of a sudden you're talking different stories. But at the moment, you've got to look at it here and now, what we see here and now. Who's your personal choice to sign for West Ham, and what's probability? Pereira, I think, is needed because we've lost Jesse Lingard. And it's an exciting signing. He's goal scoring, his assists. I think will just set us alight a bit again. He's young as well. He's only 25. So yeah, he out of the ones we've been linked with, I'm going to say that he's probably one of my first choices. Obviously, a striker is top priority. Whether that's Lingard, whether that's Ings, they're the priority striker-wise. But in terms of players we've been linked with, it would be Pereira for me. Other rumours that came out since I did my show yesterday is Phil Bloody Jones. Jesus Christ. Only 27. If I'm looking at it in an optimistic way, when we signed Craig Dawson, it was very much a deflating signing. And I know that Dawson towards the end started to look a bit shaky towards the end. But the impact that Craig Dawson had, he was nominated for Player of the Month at one point. And was a good leader, in a lot of the games. So can Phil Jones come in and have that sort of impact? Possibly. Listen, I'm not saying I want him, but if he is to come in, then I wouldn't doubt him to have a decent impact at West Ham. He might actually like being at a smaller club. Another example of a player that's left Manchester United and went on to have a really good career at Leicester is Johnny Evans. I don't know where you compare those two, like in terms of ability, but if you can get him for free, why not? Do you know what I mean? It hasn't cost you anything. He might be on decent wages, but listen, you're probably all going to jump on me now. So let me know what you think about the Johnny Evans rumour. Not Johnny Evans, Phil Jones. As long as Phil Bardsley don't come. Jesus Christ, no. Let's hope it ain't a big scramble on the last day of the transfer window to bring in 4 or 5 players. Yeah, a lot of people think that Lingard, I know Andy's in the chat now, a lot of people think that Lingard might be, one of the ones last through the door. When them squad lists get announced in a few weeks' time, that is going to be a big telltale on what happens going forward with Lingard. I think if Lingard's named in there 25, he might not need to be named actually because he's a homegrown youth player. I'm not sure. Then we'll see what happens there. Obviously, they've signed Sancho, Rashford. What's going to happen with Martial, Fernandes, Pogba? They're looking to challenge this year. Signings like Varane and Sancho. They're not there to just finish in the top 4. They're looking to win the league this year. So be interesting to see what happens with Jesse. And he says, morning. I think Jan, it will be confirmed, but the takeover won't happen this summer. Yeah, I think that January is probably more realistic date, mate. The left back from Hibs, Diog. I don't know how to pronounce that. Diog. I heard they want 5 million for him. 5 million, good price, low risk. Why not? 5 million, Soufal turned out to be one of the best right backs we've had in years. So it's not about the money, it's just whether it suits. Any new signings could be added onto the sale price. This shouldn't be the reason. I hate this board. Yeah, I think most people will agree with you there, mate. Thanks for the comment. You still got to buy. Do you know what I mean? You've still got. It's still your product at the end of the day. If West Ham go down, all of a sudden the price goes down that you're selling for. So it's in their interest to keep us as a high regarded club. Jake says, I just also want to say the third kit is insanely good. Yeah, that is a lovely, lovely kit. Paul sent me it this morning. We sort of knew what it was anyway, didn't we? But Paul sent me a picture of that this morning. For those of you who haven't seen it, where have you been? There it is, navy blue. It looks black on my phone, but it's navy blue. Based on the kit that Paolo Di Canio scored the goal against Manchester United all those years ago. I was there. Lovely kit. Really, really nice kit. Hopefully we wear that a few times, maybe Europa League and stuff like that. Very, very, very nice kit. Gary says, Luke, do you think Lingard deal is dead in the water? At the moment, yes. We've got to go and get someone else over the line. The scary thing about Pereira now, lots of floaty rumours and little smidgens coming out that Leicester are interested. Leicester don't mess about. They're not going to sit there and try and do a buy to loan option. They're not going to sit there and barter over a price. They will go. They'll say, West Brom, what do you want? West Brom will probably come back and say they want 15 million. And Leicester will just go bosh and pat. And then we risk losing out on a fantastic player again to Leicester because we've dilly-daddled over a price. Like 15 million is absolute peanuts in today's money for a player of that calibre. Proven in the Premier League, young, And what we need, it's not like he would be bought in as a luxury player. The Pereira will be starting every single week if he comes. Irish Tommy says Phil Jones is too injury prone. Yeah, I didn't take that into account as well, mate. The injuries. Yeah, obviously we don't want injuries. That's something we definitely don't want. Phil Jones is a good player when fit. I said it on my video yesterday. It reminds me of Chris Smalling. Also, Luke, look at the time now at Roma. Yeah, obviously Smalling went out to Roma, didn't he? And had a fantastic season with them. Johnny Evans at Leicester, as I've said before. Just because you are not wanted by a club like Manchester City or Man United or Chelsea, etc., doesn't mean all of a sudden you're a bad player. It's just, a lot of players, are not good enough to be a consistent starter for Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, etc. So, yeah, I wouldn't turn my nose up it, apart from, as Tommy did point out, the injury problems. I'd rather sign Miss Jones. Which one? This takeover will give GSB a reason to not make signings. Can't wait until after the window closes. As long as we sign some bloody players, mate. I'd rather sign Ruth Jones. Gary says, Areola, what's happened with him? Again, X keeps saying that things will happen, and other accounts are saying that it's very close. I believe he's on huge wages, about 145 grand a week, which might be a bit of a sticking point. But it's got to be him or Sam Johnston, isn't it? So it just remains to be seen which one happens. But these need to be done before the Atlanta game. In my opinion, I think some signings will happen before the Atlanta game, because they will want to show them off on the pitch in that game. So if they can get a couple of deals through before then, I think that's what they want to do. Yeah, who knows, mate? Honestly, who knows? Yeah, I got Irish Tommy. This is a great comment, actually. Aston Villa looks serious about progressing as a club. They're spending money on good players. Will overtake. They will, mate. Who knows what's going to happen with Jack Grealish? City apparently very, very close, but then there was a little bit of a backtrack in terms of Grealish, thinking maybe he should start Villa, guaranteed to play every week, become an absolute legend now. And a club on the up. That, as you say, mate, are spending good money, booked some really good players in. Why would you want to leave there? Yes, you can go Man City. Yes, you'll go Man City and you'll probably win the league. But I bet you now, mate, and I assume most of you in here would agree, winning an FA Cup with Aston Villa for Jack Grealish would mean a million times more than winning the Premier League 3 times with Manchester City. Same as with old Harry, Harry Kane. Winning anything with old Spursy would have meant 100 times more than what it would have meant to go and win something with Man City for years to go there. Different maybe with Declan Rice, because Chelsea's his boyhood club, but that would mean something to him, winning it with your boyhood club and your best mate. But to win something at a club as a project, a team that's been built up and not just bought together. And there's no disrespect to Manchester City. They're a fantastic football team. But when you can spend 50 million on a fullback every year, it's not really a game, is it? It's, they can buy their way out of trouble. And this is no disrespect to the way that Pep Guardiola coaches. Pep Guardiola is a fantastic coach, but coaching is a lot easier when you've got players that are, the best of the best to coach. Gary agrees with you, Tom. Another Wilshere or Carroll. Yep. Probably Daniel Sturridge, mate. It wouldn't surprise me if Carroll comes back. He misses. He's obviously an Essex girl, isn't she? Don't West Brom still owe us money still? So you'd think it'd make a deal. Yeah, apparently there is some money owed for Grady. So in theory, it should be an easier deal, mate. You wipe the debt and you pay what the rest is. So in theory, yeah, it should be an easier deal. But and a club that apparently we deal quite well with. A rare club that Sullivan deals quite well with. Morning, Duncan, mate. Irish Tommy said the consortium should offer Sullivan a loan to West Ham with a view to buy it. It's his kind of language. Yeah, and you know what? They should pay that 500 million off over 500 years. You know, he gets £1 million a year. So it stays with his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren. They're guaranteed £1 million for 500 years. Palace are signing players as well. Yeah, you know, Patrick Vieira's got to do some stuff there. You know, lost a lot of players as well, though, mate. You know, it's a hard project, that Palace one. But yeah, they are signing players. Leicester are signing some players as well. You don't want to be on a catch up. You know, we're in a good place at the minute. I assume Everton will start spending some money as well soon under Rafa. You know, they've got usually have quite a decent budget, Everton now. So you just don't want to be left behind. I'll be absolutely gutted if we do miss out on Pereira to Leicester. You know, they're becoming like. Do you remember when Everton used to buy every player that we wanted, and Tottenham used to buy every player we was linked with? It'd go right down to the line. And then Everton and Tottenham always used to pick up the players we wanted. It wasn't long ago that City was no different from us. That's right, mate. That's right. And that's why I've got a bit of a soft spot for City. As much as, they have, they've got dream funds, luxury funds, luxury money. I don't know. I like City because I like their fans. Their fans are quiet. They're still... they still sort of remember the good times, even though they're loving the luxury of, winning league titles and seeing wonderful players like Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero's, some of the best players that have played in the Premier League have played for City recently, Yaya Toure in there as well. They've not forgotten where they've come from. Irish Tommy says we'll be left picking up the transfer window scraps after everyone else has done their business. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. I'd be absolutely gutted again if that is the case. But we've seen it all before. Listen, whenever Nicky has his rants on West Ham Fan TV Friday Night Pint, I'm there sitting there cheering him on, mate. When people are saying, in the chat, and even some of the other boys in the West Ham Fan TV, when they're going to him, Nicky, what can you do? It's happened now. Or how many times can we sit there and say it's happened now? And how many times can we sit there and say, this is going to happen again? It's just heartbreaking every year after such a good season. And someone put a comment on one of my videos yesterday, right? Let me get it up, 2 seconds. And I want you guys to let me know what you think about this, right? So, this guy put this on my video yesterday, right? And no disrespect to you, mate, at all. So Richard Walton, comments along all the time. He says, what exactly did the ball do wrong last season? Okay, it's a good question. It is a very good question. What did they do wrong last season? What did they do right? I'll put to you, mate. What did they do wrong? They didn't really buy any players. Yes, they bought Soucek, they bought Ben Rama, bought Sofal. Good players. Were they Sullivan signings? I don't know. Were they David Moyes signings? I don't know. We sold Hollah for 20 million and didn't bring another player in. Whether that was Moyes' decision or not, who knows? Left us very short when, a couple more signings and we probably would have got that Champions League spot. Everything we achieved last year was in spite of the board, okay? Not for it. But yeah, there's one for you. We will end up bringing Carroll back. How long are us fans going to have to put up with it? Not long, mate, I don't think. I think 2 years maximum now. I think maybe 2 more seasons. But the unfortunate thing in those 2 seasons are, if we don't get taken over this summer or January, is that Declan Rice will leave in that time. So, just as we maybe, are buying a team that's ready to go, we're just going to miss out. We're just going to miss out on having that world-class player already in there to build upon. If we was taken over now, Declan Rice is there and a new ball come in and spent. They haven't got to even spend massive amount of money, but they've just got to spend the right amount of money for the players we need. It might be 150 million, but that doesn't mean we have to go and buy £50 million players, if you know what I'm saying. It just means we need to be able to buy the players that are needed. I think if it's done next summer, it'll be too late. And I think Rice will go. And then you're looking, as much as you're going to get good money for Declan, you've got to go and replace a world-class centre midfielder, which, is not going to be cheap at all. And forever you replace him with, he's not going to be as good as Declan, in my opinion. And when we're down to the scrapes, Moyes will say there's nobody he fancied signing. I hope not, mate. I hope not. How can that be as well? Like, and I'm not. This is not to you, mate. This would be to Moyes. How can it be that you've been at a club for what would be, 18 months, nearly 2 years, and what you're telling me you've not identified anybody, any single player that can fit into West Ham? That would be just ridiculous. Don't want Lingard now. He will think he's doing us a favour. Obviously, that he's supposed to say. We will miss out on players we need, plus other players will leave. Yeah, apparently Xande Silva's the latest one. The two Daves show no ambition. I'm not going to go too long today, guys. I'm probably going to go for another about 10 minutes because I keep doing these 45-minute ones. I like to keep them down to maybe half an hour just for a couple of days. So, yeah, I don't know whether any of you guys did see the video yesterday. So I will put it up for you, just in case you didn't see it yesterday. And we'll just have a little discussion about that before I wrap it up. So if any of you guys didn't see this yesterday.
Right, to all the West Ham fans out there, I've got some news that is, for our club, is different class, yeah? Now, I know about the buyout of West Ham. Pie Capital, I know them personally, I speak to them all the time. They have put a bid on the table to buy West Ham and to buy the stadium. So we've got our very own stadium, yeah? And these guys have got serious money, serious investment to look after and build our club up so we can be the #1 club in London. I know it for a fact, yeah, and I'm absolutely buzzing about this. It's mega. It's absolutely mega. I mean, we'll have our own stadium again, West Ham will be the best club in the country. With Pie Capital, yeah, behind us, owning us, looking after us, they're going to take us to the next level, and it's what we need. We need all the fans to get behind this because so many rumours going about. I know it firsthand. The deal has happened. The deal's been put on the table to Sullivan, and we need all the West Ham fans out there to get behind these boys because trust me when I say this, we're a lifelong West Ham fan. If they are with us, we are going to be a Champions League club without a shadow of a doubt. Look at them. Look up the company. Serious. This is mega for us. And it's not rumours. This is fact. This is true. I've been on the phone. I've spoken to the boys there. They're a great group of lads, and it means the world to West Ham. So if you're a West Ham fan, retweet this, paste it, like it. Fact.
Yeah, so obviously that guy is Tom Skinner, for anyone who doesn't know, from The Apprentice. For those of you who haven't seen that video, I just wanted to show you that. So obviously he's, big in investment, big in the business community. I think he might be a bit of a stockbroker or something like that. He's very, he knows that, got contacts anyway. So he's apparently spoke to the PA partnership and, had some more stuff confirmed. I reckon it's true what he's saying. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would doubt him. I think it's true what he's saying. I don't think you put yourself up on a platform like that after knowing that PA have come out recently and exposed David Sullivan. I wouldn't expect that he'd put himself out on a platform to be exposed even more. So hopefully, yeah, there is some exciting news in that. The thing is, he's probably identified players he wants, but do they want to come to West Ham? That's a whole thing. That's a whole discussion in itself, mate. You have to look at players like over the past, don't you? Lacazette, El Nesri, Lukaku over the years, Michy Batshuayi. It's okay wanting to go and get these players. It doesn't mean they want to come through the door. How's your arm? Not great, mate. Not great. I'll be honest with you. This support's helping. Irish Tommy. The only possible positive to us not making signings is that some of our best youngsters will be given a chance in the first team. Let's hope there are some gems in there. Definitely, mate. I think Connor Coventry's going to get a big chance this year. Looks fantastic player. I'm not going to repeat myself. I sat last couple of weeks. He's starting to show what he's about. Ashby's a good right back. I don't think you're not going to get in front of Sofal, but you know what I'm saying. Baptiste looks a giant of a man. And then you got Okie Flex. I always get his name. I just call him Okie Koki. He's another one. Looks quite dynamic going forward and stuff. So hopefully, he can do something as well. You can't just buy the stadium. Not that simple. That's very true. Obviously it has to go out to tender. And to bids. So, it's not as simple as just going, here's the money, we're going to buy it. So we'll see. Agreed, Tommy. I said that yesterday. Luke, you need to put an ice pack on it. Cool hand, Luke. Good film, that is. Tom Skinner is saying a lot of the same things we heard from GSB. We'll be up there with the big boys, amazing new stadium, Champions League. I'm wary about this kind of promises now. 100%, mate. Listen, we've all been bit by that. Do you know what I mean? Gonzo famously says it, when we all went into that stadium shop over Westfield and we heard Ray Winston's voice saying, world-class team for world-class stadium. This will put us among the elite. And it's nothing against Raymond, because I love Raymond and I would love Raymond to come on the show one time. I wonder how Raymond feels about that now. That's a question I'd like to ask Ray, is how does he feel, being attached to that video? We all went into that building. Maybe there was a few of us that could see through it, but listen, when I walked in there and I see that video, and you heard all that, we're going to be a massive club, we're going to buy players. We all fell for it. That was a whole. That is the biggest smoke and mirror magic trick they've ever performed over the West Ham fans' eyes. The fact that we allowed them to sell our spiritual home because we thought we was going to be competitive and and be able to do good things, and obviously we haven't. But that's a conversation that will last a lifetime. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. I'll be back on Saturday. Hopefully, do a podcast with Paul. Just thought I'd do a little silly video about the free transfer lists and stuff like that. Let me just see if there was any other suggestions, because then I can answer them now whilst I'm live. So John Hewitt asked on Twitter, with the lack of signings and a small quad, which youth players will make themselves a contention for first team this season? Oko Flex has looked very good. He certainly has, John. I don't know if you're watching. Oko Flex looks really good. And as I said about 5 minutes ago, Connor Coventry for me will definitely be given his chance. Trevor Tube says, morning all. I agree with Tommy. Easy to manipulate opinion, not easy to say. Got to be cautious, definitely, mate. And it's as Gonzo said yesterday, it's very easy to stoke the fire in the West Ham fans at the moment. Anything against GSB. And literally going against anything that GSB do will straight away give you positive vibes from the West Ham fans. But as fans, we, any new ball, we need to be, keep them accountable as well, and make sure they fulfil their promises to West Ham. Thank you, Duncan. Hit the like button. The real money people need to come out and show who they are instead of getting people to say good things for them. I agree. It'd be nice to see, a real face, like who's the main money man behind this bid, because there's definitely something there. Or even, when they say about these ex-players being, behind it. One of these ex-players come out, come out and say who you are, say, what you want to do with the club. X has just put news on Patreon about Areola. I think we are very, very close. Thanks, George. Thanks for that update. So ex-West Ham employee has put out that Areola is very close. Good signing. A player that I did want. Hopefully, Pereira is not too far behind. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Just a nice early one for you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully it doesn't rain anywhere near like it did yesterday for you. And if the Areola rumour is true, hopefully that's done on a Friday. And who knows, we might get to see him against Atlanta. Until next time, guys, come on you irons, keep believing, let's go.